2 weeks ago in Nashville
with
this
exact
deck.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's showcasing the brand new Liz Nugent Creature Collection sleeves. There are the turtles.
Wow, look, Mr. Andersen, look at you.
He is trendy guy.
Yeah.
He's up with the latest trends in
And his
sleeves.
opponent, a man after my own heart, playing one of my favorite legacy decks, Mono Red Burn.
Now, I was talking to Chris earlier today about yesterday. He played Bank Control in Standard, and he said, I think he played burn decks in the first 2 or 3 rounds.
We're playing aggressive decks.
Yeah,
and one of them was on camera.
Right, yeah. He lost a Pillar of Flame, sideboarded Pillar of Flame.
Yes.
In two different rounds, 2 different matches.
He will not be losing to Pillar of Flame this round.
But he's still playing against Burn. He seems to.
So Goblin Guide tries to come down for James, but it meets Force of Will.
Yeah, removing Tezzeret. Darkslick Shores casts Duress for Chris, and we're going to see James' hand.
So Keldor Marauders, Shattering Spree. Shattering Spree is a huge hate card in this matchup.
Yeah.
Red Elemental Blast, Mountain, and Barbarian Ring. Depending on the contents of Chris's hand, I fully expect him to take Shattering Spree. But if it's hands full of blue cards, I could see the Red Elemental Blast.
Yeah, that makes sense.
One thing I don't like looking at James' hand already, I would not be bringing in a Red Blast against Chris's deck. Burn is a deck where you want all your cards to deal damage. It is a combo deck, except for every combo piece does the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Alright, so Keldor Marauders comes down, deals 1 to Chris. It'll probably live to deal another damage, attack step. Although Chris has so Chris's hand is really interesting. So what he could do, he could go, he doesn't have enough mana to cast both Dimir Signet and Ensnaring Bridge. So Chris's hand is Thopter Foundry. That's part of his Thopter Foundry, sort of the meat combo.
Right.
Ensnaring Bridge, and Dimir Signet, and Ancient Tomb. So Ancient Tomb is not exactly what he's looking for here, but also not the... If he can get it down, get rid of the rest of his hand pretty quickly, he can lock James's creatures out of attacking. But he can't quite do it. If he played Ancient Tomb and Ensnaring Bridge, he'd still be left with exactly 3 cards in his hand. So
the bridge wouldn't be as effective as
Bridge would not be effective, and he'd have Ancient Tomb as 2 damage that Chris would rather not take.
Right. So James untaps, swings in with the Marauders, slowly fading away, but they're going to do their damage.
Alright, so suspended Rift Bolt for James.
It's the slow lightning bolt. Off the top of Baleful Strix for Chris Andersen.
Pretty good draw.
And looks like we're going to see the Strix here.
Yeah. James says he would have the option to Pyroblast it, but I'm not sure that he should. We'll see what James decided it up.
Says take
Solves.
it. Draws a Signet. I think there's another Dimir Signet.
Yes.
There's an Ancient Tomb.
So Ancient Tomb really dangerous against a burn deck. He really needs the mana. He'd love to be able to play out more Signets, but does he want to take 2 damage to do so?
Yeah, free burn spell.
Yep. I like to think of James's deck as a 7-card combo deck. You draw 7 spells.
Everything does 3.
Yeah, 7-card combo decks aren't very good in Legacy unless you can play a deck full of redundant combo pieces.
Yeah, it's a 7-card combo, and 40 of your cards, or you just need to draw 7 of the 40.
Yes. Exactly. In this case, James is playing 19 lands.
Okay, 41.
Yes. So he has a couple Magma Jets to help him find lands if he needs it, or not find lands if that's what he desires.
So Chris passes the turn, Marauders fades away, Rift Bolt unsuspends and bolts Chris down to 11, and now James.
So James's hand is Barbarian Ring, Goblin Guide, and Red Elemental Blast. So now blasting the Baleful Strix. See the Synod, the blue artifact land that you draw for Chris. So Thopter Founder is pretty dangerous because it gains life, but James has the Red Elemental Blast to take care of it.
Baleful Strix gets in there, second Signet added to the board, and looks like Ensnaring Bridge. Yeah,
thanks for crossing the bridge. Ensnaring Bridge comes into play.
Ensnaring Bridge, a pretty big card. Why don't you put up the bridge? Looks like Choi's already on it.
Yeah.
Back in Standard, it was a pretty big deal too. 3 mana artifact. Creatures with power greater than the number of cards in your hand can attack. Chris, of course, down to 1 card in hand right now, which is well, irrelevant for the moment. James doesn't have any guys, but that can be a big deal. So nothing from James, but a land artifact drop. And
for Chris.
Yeah, show us that one too. Transmute artifact. That's one you don't see often at all.
Putting it up on the screen probably not going to help you.
Yeah, there's some beautiful artwork by Andersen.
Effectively, this is a tinker. You sacrifice an artifact, search your deck for another artifact, and pay the mana cost difference. So if you want to sacrifice an Ensnaring Bridge and get a 4 mana artifact, you would have to pay 1 extra mana.
That's a nice way to sum it up. He's going to go ahead and cast it.
And you do not sacrifice your, unlike Tinker, you do not sacrifice
as part of the cost.
Yeah,
and James goes to read it and it comes to the same conclusion that you just heard.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm not going to read it. What does it do? Or maybe he just asked for an oracle.
So yeah, I think Chris is explaining it. Yeah. You can see Chris saying basically, effectively, what the card does.
Right.
I love the old wording on Magic cards.
Yeah, the way they try to.
The last line of this is shuffle your library after playing
this card. I know, I was looking at the same line. It's something about that is funny. I don't know why. I guess
if you took that literally, Chris would be shuffling his library right now. Before it resolves.
Before the resolution of it. Right. It is funny because we're so used to the standard wording after years of playing this game, but when you look back to the old cards, there was no standard wording. They're just trying to communicate like the spirit of what a card is supposed to do, and it doesn't. All
right, so after all of this time, it's like, I have no idea what this card does. I'm countering it.
Well, he just did get an oracle reading.
And that's like a very common thing in Legacy that you may or may not know what a card does.
And that clears the way for the Thopter Foundry.
He cannot attack with that Baleful Strix. He has no cards in hand. I believe Chris has no cards in hand.
Yeah.
So I don't think. Yep. I just realized that.
Yeah, that applies to both sides of the board.
Yep. That's all creatures.
Only your own hand, though. So it's not.
Yes.
It's not looking at James's hand.
So Chris has 0 cards. So creatures with greater than 0 power can attack.
Right. If they have 0 power, they can attack.
Well, phenomenal draw for James here.
What did he get?
Price of Progress.
That
deals 2 damage for each non-basic land in play.
And there are
to its controller. Well, one of them is going the way of is going to be sacked. Thopter Founder is going to sack an artifact. Seed of the Synod is an artifact, so it's going to sacrifice that. Chris is going to gain 1 life, but he's still going to take 6 damage from the
Price of Progress. Yeah.
Yes.
There you see Thopter Foundry.
Thopter Founder is going to be the most important card for Chris this game. He really, you gain 1 life. It's almost tacked on, but it's just super important.
Well, it ended up being 3 life in that particular situation because
it prevented 2 damage
2 and gained
from Price of Progress.
And also has, gave him another guy to attack with, another 1/1 or 1 power guy to attack with, which is very relevant because he's just drew his card for the turn and now can attack.
This is a Force of Will.
It is. It is likely a Force of Will that he will not want to hard cast at this particular point.
Well, looks like he's got to hard cast it because his options are to take 6.
Yeah.
That would be lethal.
Right.
So he could sack some artifacts to stay alive, or he could take 2 damage to...
Yeah, he's going to have to do that too.
He would lose to another Pyroblast, but I think if you're Chris, you have to risk tapping your Ancient Tomb here.
He's trying to figure out if there's a way
right
he can get around it with the Thopter Foundry.
Exactly,
same kind of situation,
just the Thopter Foundry, and he could, but it'd be very, very dangerous for him. He'd be sacking at least one artifact, probably the Ensnaring Bridge. But then he wouldn't have access to the Force of Will anymore. Casting this Force of Will is basically going to gain him 4 life if it works. And Chris looks like he's coming to that conclusion and going to hard cast the Force of Will.
He also would lose to any kind of 4 damage. Well, no, he wouldn't. He could still.
It'd be 5 damage.
It would have to be.
Yes, and there's
another 5.
The only 5 damage card in James's deck is currently on the stack.
Yeah. So there is a Force of Will. So Chris falls to 4 with the Ancient Tomb.
Yep. And I know James's last card is a Goblin Guide. So not exactly the most threatening card. Chris thinking about making a guy at the end of turn. I don't think I would because it could be a fireball. Like if Chris tried to make a guy at the end of turn, he would lose to a Fire Blast in response.
Yeah, and he looks like he's considering it anyway. He's not thinking about Fire Blast. Or if he's thinking about it, he's playing. He's going anyway, doing it anyway. But now it looks like he may be reconsidering. He's going to do it.
Yep, he'll do it.
Gets his guy. Looks like no Fire Blast available. So
we know that. Ooh, Chalice of the Void, huge draw.
Need to attack first.
No, the Ensnaring Bridge is gone.
Oh, that's you just sacked the bridge. Sorry.
Yep. So, Ensnaring Bridge for 1, very, very important.
Or Chalice for 1.
Yes. Chalice of the Void for 1. Shuts down a ton of James's deck. I'm going to guess that a turn 1 Chalice is likely how Chris won his other game.
James passes. Dimir Signet goes away, turns into a penguin. Another Liz Nugent creature collection creation.
Another Thopter Foundry. Usually redundant cards aren't very good here, but Thopter Foundry is still an artifact, still turns into a life and a card.
Yep.
Or a life and a flyer. If Chris chooses, he's going to keep it in his hand. So Red Elemental Blast the draw from James. Not a card that deals damage. Yeah, I think one mistake of many burn players, one mistake you'll never see Patrick Sullivan making, is bringing in random non-damage spells in his burn deck.
Besides the fact that it doesn't make mana, he can't cast it because of Chalice on 1.
Yes.
Well, he can cast it, it just gets countered.
Right.
Looks like the Thopter doing some work again, making a 4th penguin, so that's 5 power on Chris's side of the board. Oh, a 5th penguin.
Yeah, Baleful Strix basically gains him a life. Loses Death Touch, you gain a life. He's already a 1/1 flyer, just wants the extra life.
Yep.
Can't say I blame him.
Yeah, the Death Touch not too relevant at this point.
Hey, Thirst for Knowledge.
Yeah, Thirst for Knowledge off the top. All 5 penguins getting in.
Not too important, but
James says go, and we're gonna say
just wants a lethal attacker.
And yeah, let me show you all my one
mana cards that I've drawn since